Before she was famous, Brandi Passante worked an unglamorous job at a carpet cleaning company. So how did this self-proclaimed shy girl become a reality TV star? From a tumultuous childhood to starring on Storage Wars, Passante's rise was anything but normal. Brandi Passante was born on May 16, 1980 in Harris County, Texas. Because she's been notoriously private about certain aspects of her personal life, not much is known about her childhood. However, she has spoken about it a handful of times. During an April 2013 interview with Lifetime, Passante did share that she's maintained some of her characteristics from childhood. She explained, "I'm actually a very shy person. I was even shy as a child. I used to give everyone dirty looks." She also said that growing up with brothers helped toughen her up. On the Spirit Talk hosted by Siobhan and Sabrina podcast in February 2021, the reality star gave her fans a little more insight into her upbringing and revealed that she had a tumultuous childhood. Passante added,
"I think maybe that is why I'm funny, because if I'm not, then, what else do I have?"
On Storage Wars, it wasn't uncommon to witness a disagreement between Passante and her then-boyfriend, Jarrod Schulz. After all, they'd been together for over a decade by the time the show premiered. Passante and Schulz met in 1999 when she began working as a sales manager at a carpet cleaning company in Tustin, California. In an August 2016 interview with Inquirer.net, Passante divulged that their relationship wasn't quite love at first sight, saying, "That was a process. He wore me down. He was persistent." In response, Schulz explained that there was some complexity in their dynamic. He told the outlet, "When Brandi and I started dating, technically I was her boss, and you were not supposed to do that. A mutual friend put notes on my truck reminding me to be nice to Brandi because I could be abrasive." When Passante and Schulz were on Storage Wars, their son Cameron and daughter Peyton made the occasional appearance. While more private details of their lives remain locked away, Passante gave an interview in June 2020 saying that her kids were 17 and 15 at the time. During her Lifetime interview in April 2013, the reality star spoke about how she juggles her career and parenting her kids. She revealed, "I don't have much family outside of Jarrod and the kids, and Jarrod comes from a very small family. So when we were just starting out, we'd rely on neighbors and even some of Jarrod's buddies for extra support." While Passante has spoken about her children, she's also been hesitant to do so. In February 2020, the Storage Wars star shared an Instagram post of her daughter alongside a caption that explained the reason behind her fiercely private nature when it comes to her kids. She wrote, "I stopped posting photos of my babies because some creepy-ass dudes were harassing them. I am reluctantly posting this because I am so proud of how beautiful my little is in her winter formal fit." In December 2010, Storage Wars premiered, introducing the world to Passante and Schulz. The couple was dubbed the Young Guns, seeing as they were the youngest bidders on the show. Passante spoke with the Times Standard in June 2013 about what a typical day of filming requires, saying, "It's a lot of hard work. You go out to the auction, battle it out, get a unit, and then you have to move out and clean every inch of that storage unit and leave nothing behind. No trash, nothing. And then you have to figure out how to sell it." Fame is something the couple struggled with over the years as they went on to appear in 11 seasons consecutively. In June 2020, she divulged the details about her behind-the-scenes experiences while speaking with Danny Jordan for the Dad Diary podcast. She explained, "I got some scary letters in the very beginning. I did have to move at one point to a guard-gated community."
It was definitely life-changing. I did have to have a little bit of therapy about it. I didn't like to leave the house.
In 2014, Passante and Schulz landed their own Storage Wars spin-off show called Brandi and Jarrod Married to the Job. In the first episode of the new series, viewers got an inside look into the couple's lives. From raising their 2 children to planning their wedding after 15 years of dating, the show shined a light on their personal lives in a way Storage Wars never had. While there were plenty of squabbles between Passante and Schulz, their dynamic proved television-worthy. In speaking with the Times Standard in June 2013, Passante said it could be difficult to work with Schulz. She said, "Working together as a couple every day is quite an obstacle to overcome. We're together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to make business decisions together." Unfortunately, Brandi and Jarrod Married to the Job only lasted 1 season, but the couple went right back to their usual spot on Storage Wars soon afterward. Fans were shocked when, during the Storage Wars Season 13 premiere in 2021, Passante said that she and Schulz were no longer together. She later revealed that she had ended things with him after filming on Season 12 had wrapped in 2018. While the former couple could forego a messy divorce, seeing as they were never married, Passante ended up with full custody of their 2 children. She had spoken about the split beforehand, telling the Dad Diary in June 2020 about parenting her teenage children on her own. She explained, "I did a lot of it on my own anyway. right, but it's the scary dad voice in the background that we're missing. I have them all the time, 24/7, they're here with me. She did add that things were going well for her though, saying,
I think we're good right now. I'm very happy with my life.
Not only has Passante maintained a polished reputation throughout her career on Storage Wars, but she's also used her platform to shine a light on important causes. One of them was Women's Own Worth, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting survivors of domestic violence. Passante had met the organization's founder and survivor of domestic abuse, Juwan Archer, through a friend of a friend. The Storage Wars star was moved by her story, and she ended up emceeing 2019's Wowapalooza, a Women's Own Worth event. Passante ultimately helped the organization raise over $100,000. As she told the Saline Courier at the time, I have experienced some things in my life, and it's a really wonderful cause. It's things that are needed, so I wanted to help in any way possible. While speaking with the Dad Diary, Passante explained how she came to host the event for Women's Own Worth, saying, Archer asked me if I would MC their event, and she's like, but we can't afford you. And I said, you don't have to pay me, just get me there. And it was such an amazing experience, and I would love to continue to help them any way I can. Despite their breakup, Passante and Schulz continued working as co-stars on Storage Wars. Understandably, working with an ex came with its own drama and stress, especially because the show had painted them as rivals. As Passante told Distractify in 2021, it is a little tense, but we seem to get through it. Like any newly single person who just left a long-term relationship, Passante seemed to enjoy her newfound freedom. When Storage Wars went on hiatus during the pandemic, she took some time to rediscover herself. On Spirit Talk hosted by Siobhan and Sabrina, she explained her mindset, saying, I was describing it as sort of emotionally dead inside, just kind of trying to find my place. I wasn't really allowed to have an identity for, many, many years.
So these last couple of years, I'm kind of coming into my own and figuring out who I am.
COVID-19 left many without work, including those who would normally be in front of the camera. After season 12 of Storage Wars wrapped in January 2019, the show finally returned with season 13 in April 2021. Passante spoke with popculture.com at the time about her return to filming and said she was getting bored during lockdown. While Passante has continued her appearances on Storage Wars, Schulz didn't return for season 14. While this may have been related to his trouble with the law, there's no doubt this made filming easier on his ex. Passante came back for season 15 in 2023, again with no Schulz in sight. Luckily for Passante, she has much more to offer than flipping antiques found in storage units. Fans have loved her candidness for years, making her a great candidate for a podcast. During a July 2021 episode of Happening Now with Hammer podcast, Passante was announced as the newest cast member, joining showrunners Hammer and Adam Malerchik. On her first episode as a regular, the reality star shared the best bar pickup line she'd heard, which was appropriate given she'd met Hammer in a dive bar. She said, "Some guy came over to me and he said, 'Do you like my shirt?' I was like, 'I don't know, man. Yeah, whatever.' He asked, 'What is it made out of?' And I was like, 'I don't know, cotton?' He's like, 'Boyfriend material.'" Her co-hosts cringed, but Passante laughed along, insisting it was a clever line. Since then, the Storage Wars star has returned regularly to the show to talk about things happening in Newport Beach and Orange County. Countless celebrities deal with health issues affecting their thyroid, and in April 2022, Passante revealed she was one of them. After an Instagram user asked the reality star, "Why is your throat so scratchy?" she shared her response on her Instagram story and revealed that she lives with thyroid issues. She wrote, "I have Hashimoto's disease, an autoimmune disorder that affects my thyroid. Sometimes it makes my throat raspy. This health condition impacts around 5 in every 100 Americans and can cause symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, joint pain, and an enlarged thyroid. It can also create a feeling of fullness in the throat." Hashimoto's disease affects several stars, including Leona Lewis, Gigi Hadid, Victoria Justice, and Zoe Saldana, and it's the most common cause of hypothyroidism. While it can cause further health issues, it is luckily a very treatable condition. Passante has made her opinions on Schulz clear throughout her time on Storage Wars and in interviews following their breakup. However, she's been pretty quiet about what exactly incited their split. Back in April 2021, a few years after she ended things with her Storage Wars co-star, an incident broke out between the exes at a bar in Orange County. Schulz was charged with 1 count of domestic violence battery against Passante after he allegedly pushed her. While she hasn't spoken out against her ex about the incident, she did share a telling post post on Instagram in August 2022. Passante shared a picture of her tattoo, the word free with a bird on her finger, which she said she'd gotten touched up recently. She wrote in the caption, "My little reminder of the strength that I finally miraculously found, and all that I've accomplished. In spite of constantly being told that I was worthless, my reminder that I can be fearless and free to make my own choices without consequences." Underneath, Passante wrote, #domestic violence awareness and #domestic violence survivor. If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic abuse, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also find more information, resources, and support at their website.